Welcome back. Today, we are looking at how to solve complex mathematical puzzles drawn directly from a text called the Lilavati. Written in the 12th century by the mathematician Bhaskaracharya, these problems were originally recorded on delicate palm leaf manuscripts, just like this one. But the Lilavati is unique because it masks its rigorous mathematical problems as beautiful narrative poetry. We are going to translate 3 of these poems into step-by-step algebraic equations. This will prove that ancient math was designed to be highly entertaining. Let's start with the first text. Our first puzzle revolves around a devotional poem. A devotee offers a cluster of lotuses to different deities, and we need to determine the total number of flowers in the original cluster. The poem provides a precise fractional breakdown: 1/3 to Shiva, 1/5 to Vishnu, 1/6 to Surya, 1/4 to the goddess, and the final 6 lotuses are given to the guru. This diagram translates that poem into algebra. We define our unknown total number of lotuses as x. We then add up all the fractions of x alongside the remaining 6, setting them all equal to our total. To solve this, we find a common denominator for our fractions. For 3, 5, 6, and 4, we can convert all our terms over a denominator of 60. Adding those numerators together, we get 57x over 60 plus our remaining 6 equaling x. Next, we subtract 57x over 60 from our total x on the right side of the equation. That leaves us with 3x over 60 equaling 6, which reduces cleanly down to x over 20 equals 6. Multiply both sides by 20, and we arrive at 120 total lotuses. Abstract poetic fractions resolve perfectly into a concrete whole number. Let's step on to the Kurukshetra battlefield. In this puzzle, Arjuna fires an unknown total number of arrows, Rx, at his rival, Karna. The poem distributes the volley. Half of the arrows intercept Karna's attacks. 4 times the square root of the total kill the horses. 6 take down Shalya, 3 destroy the chariot parts, and a single final arrow removes Karna's head. This equation shows how the sum of those specific targets maps out. We have the half, the square root portion, and the individual targets, all equaling our total x. We begin by grouping the simple whole numbers together. 6, 3, and 1 give us 10. To eliminate the fraction at the start, we multiply the entire equation by 2. The x over 2 becomes x, the 4 becomes 8, the 10 becomes 20, and our total becomes 2x. Now we move all the terms to one side. This frames the problem as a quadratic equation, based on the square root of x. When you factor this equation, the result shows that the total number of arrows fired is 100. Epic mythological combat can be mapped precisely to quadratic algebra. Our final puzzle tests spatial logic. We have a jungle scene featuring a tree that is 100 hands tall, located 200 hands away from a well. 2 monkeys start at the top of the tree. The first climbs straight down the 100-hand trunk, then walks the 200 hands across the ground to the well. That is a total travel distance of 300 hands. The second monkey leaps straight up into the air to an unknown height, which we will call y, and then travels diagonally straight to the well. The crucial rule given in the poem is that both monkeys traveled the exact same total distance, 300. This right-angle diagram plots out the second monkey's path. The vertical side is the 100-hand tree plus jump height y. The horizontal base is the 200-hand distance to the well. Since total distance is 300, the hypotenuse is 300 minus jump height y. Because we have a right triangle, we can use the Pythagorean theorem. A squared plus b squared equals c squared. We expand the squared terms on both sides of the equal sign, generating full polynomials that include y squared values. Because there is a positive y squared on both sides, they cancel each other out completely. The complex polynomial simplifies down to 800y equals 40,000. Divide 40,000 by 800, and we reveal the monkey jumped exactly 50 hands high. A playful animal story expertly hides a sophisticated test of geometry. We successfully isolated 120 lotuses, counted 100 arrows, and measured a 50-hand leap. Through the Lilavati, Bhaskaracharya proved that mathematics does not have to be a dry subject. It can be as engaging and lyrical as poetry. These specific puzzles and their solutions survive today because generations of scholars have done the meticulous work of preserving the physical manuscripts and analyzing the logic inside them. Keep applying logic to the puzzles you find around you, and thank you for watching.